What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. The BAFTAs have officially announced their winners, and there is one movie in particular that kind of swept the entire day. We're going to talk about all of this. I need your thoughts in the comments down below. How does this affect the Oscar winners? Does it affect it at all? There are certain categories where I think it may, but for the most part, well, we'll talk about it. We're going to start with some of the smaller or more technical categories. Obviously, visual effects, and we'll start there because that's easy. Avatar. It was Avatar, it will be Avatar, it will forever be Avatar: The Way of Water. That's going to win the Oscar. Now, in sound, and we can take a look at the nominees here, you have movies like Top Gun: Maverick, which I believe probably has the best chance at the Oscars. And Top Gun's not a movie that got a ton of love at the BAFTA, so I didn't really expect it to win anything here. All Quiet makes so much more sense in this specific awards ceremony, but I also believe All Quiet has a very small chance to win this award at the Oscars because that's one of the things it does best is sound, and it's just gotten so much love today, you can't really fully count it out of anything. The next two categories, for me, fairly easy. I thought makeup and hair would either go to The Batman or Elvis. All Quiet clearly has a chance here in every category because it racked up, but it was going to be one of those two. The Whale just doesn't really have a shot at winning anything other than Brendan Fraser, which I still believe he has an opportunity. Regardless, Elvis takes that home over The Batman, and Elvis takes home costume design. Part of me thought it would go to Babylon, but I kind of saved Babylon for another category that we're going to talk about here in just a second. Here we are. That was quick. Production design. Babylon, you watch that movie, you're enamored by the production design. And obviously, All Quiet could have easily taken this award. I'm glad they gave Babylon something, and that I feel like is the one that it deserves the most. Editing. Everything Everywhere All at Once for editing. And this is also one where I think Top Gun has a really good chance at the Oscars, but Everything Everywhere has won more than a few. It's also nice to see Everything Everywhere get a win because it just frankly didn't do all that well compared to what I expected it to do. The next two movies, cinematography. For me, that was fairly obvious. It would go to All Quiet. You look at some of the other ones nominated. The Batman, which deserves it. Top Gun: Maverick, which didn't get the Oscar nom. I guess The Batman didn't either. You know, at this point, I'm feeling great about All Quiet's chances of repeating this win at the Academy Awards. And sorry, that's all we're talking about. I know the BAFTAs is the focus here, but come on, we have to talk about how this impacts the Oscars. We have to. Casting. The winner is Elvis. Now, those in charge of casting these specific films, you have a movie like After Sun in there, beautiful. All Quiet, which, again, that could have, but you don't have the notable stars, right? In Elvis, you clearly have Austin Butler, who was amazing. You also have Tom Hanks, and I didn't like Tom Hanks' performance. I didn't like Tom Hanks in the role, so I would not have given casting to Elvis. I would have given it to Everything Everywhere, but once again, Everything Everywhere is not doing all that hot at this award show. Didn't really expect it to do great, but I at least expected casting, so that for me is like, oh. Original score, this one's kind of shocking here. All Quiet, and as much as the BAFTAs love this movie, clearly, as well as myself, I thought for sure Justin Hurwitz would win for Babylon. That, for me, is the one that's like front runner at the Oscars and has kind of been the front runner all season. But this was another one where they gave it to the movie that's getting all the love. And again, I think it's a great score. But All Quiet overperforming in a category like this, where you thought for sure Justin Hurwitz was going to win. And then you have yet another shocking win, one that I do not think will have a huge impact on the Oscars, but my boy Barry from Banshees. Lots of B's there. Not Brendan Gleeson, not a more All Quiet love in this category. This is where Banshees gets its due, but I thought if Banshees was going to get some love in this category specifically, I thought for sure it would go to Brendan Gleeson. This is a nice win. I think that's, I would say, one of the more underrated performances. I mean, it's getting Oscar love. It's getting awards love. But he's not a notable name like some of these others here. And Ke Huy Quan has been sweeping this entire awards season. I don't think this impacts, because, again, this is one of the only shows where Barry has come in and won this award over Ke Huy Quan. But to not see Ke Huy Quan get the sweep, that's going to disappoint a lot of people. I'm not fully disappointed. I like the fact that they're kind of spreading the love, but this will not impact the Oscars. Here's another one that may shock some people. Carrie Condon. And you look at someone like Angela Bassett, who was the very clear frontrunner in this category, and it has been that way for about a month and a half now. But I'll tell you what, Carrie Condon, I've said for a while, she is probably my personal favorite supporting actress performance of the entire year. So again, you have Banshee's love here. You have Banshee's love in the supporting actor. So you think, because this is considered a British film, we're often given the British movies a bit more love, this is going to lead to better things in the bigger categories. Now, we'll get there, but Carrie Condon is another, not a crazy surprise, but Bassett was the clear frontrunner. Yeah, this was a little shocking for me. Leading actor, Austin Butler. Feels like a lot of the voters loved Elvis. They loved Elvis, and they loved All Quiet on the Western Front, which is fine. I think Butler is amazing, and this kind of muddies the waters just a bit more. This has been one of the most competitive and hard-to-predict Oscar categories that I can remember. We'll say over like the last 5 years. It started out, well, it's Brendan Fraser's to lose, and then it started to sway more towards Colin Farrell, and I thought, Colin Farrell with the love for Banshees of Inisherin, Colin Farrell is a shoo-in for the BAFTA. It's not the case. Now, they love Elvis as well. Elvis got some of the love in the other categories, and I think casting is a big deal for something like this. But for Austin Butler to win this, and now we're kind of split. My heart wants to go for Brendan. My brain wants to go for Colin Farrell, and then Austin Butler gets the BAFTA. This is going to be impossible to predict. So I think that's my biggest question of the day. Who's going to win Best Actor? And I'll have my Oscar, what's the word? Predictions? Yeah, that's coming soon. Butler's great. There's no denying how good he was in this movie. And you ask me, who do I want to win in this category? I don't know. I've been saying Brendan Fraser for a while, but you watch Colin Farrell and Banshees, you watch Austin Butler and Elvis, it's neck and neck. I mean, they're all three fantastic. So this one, once again, it makes things all that more confusing. Leading actress, and it has been between a couple of these nominees for a while now. We'll say Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett are the two favorites, but Blanchett has always somewhat had the edge over Michelle, and this is another reason why I believe she still has that edge. Now, it's going to be close. With the Oscar voting, I think they're going to want to spread the love just a bit more because I think Everything Everywhere still has the best shot to win a lot at the Oscars. And as good as Michelle Yeoh is, I believe Cate Blanchett is just as good, if not better. So this is another reason to think she's coming for that Oscar, but this was not a shocking win here. Now we get into adapted screenplay, and this is where I look at something like All Quiet on the Western Front, and I understand they loved this movie. I love that they love this movie. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. And I understand the nominee is completely different than the Oscar nominations. No Top Gun, no Glass Onion, no Women Talking, no love for Women Talking. So I still think Women Talking has a great shot for the Oscar. And part of me knew that All Quiet was going to win this, but even then, All Quiet wins it, and I'm like, man, it's hard not to look at All Quiet as like a dark horse for the Oscar. And we knew this would happen. But even after it happens, I'm like, is this got a BAFTA win under its belt? I don't know. I still think Women Talking right now, but that may change. Screenplay, it's a good thing for Banshees. It really is. It doesn't feel like this awards body was the biggest fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once, from casting to Michelle Yeoh to this. It just feels like it's going in all of the directions but that, which kind of stinks because I think that has a better shot at the Oscars in a lot of these categories. But this is not shocking at all. It went to a film that deserves it, but it also went to a film that they consider a British film. You look at other ones like The Fabelmans. Sorry, Spielberg.
You're done.
Everything Everywhere still has a great shot at the Oscars, but I do feel like it's going to come down to that and Banshees. Cementing the love for All Quiet on the Western Front. The Daniels just won DGA. I think they are rolling right now. So I do think they have the best shot at the Oscars. At this point, I don't even give Spielberg much of a chance. I'm going to give some others a little bit of a shot. We'll talk about it when I do my predictions video. But right now, this win for Edward Berger. Is it Berger? Berger. Over Martin McDonagh, the director of the movie that won Best British Film, and one of the directors that's in the conversation, in the discussion for the Oscars. And now you have to put All Quiet on the Western Front in that conversation in a lot of these categories, not just Best Director. This movie, again, I'm still going the Daniels for directing because they've racked up everywhere, and this doesn't necessarily, and it doesn't line up all that often, but it definitely makes it more of a conversation than it was just a few hours ago. Best Documentary, Navalny, and again, these aren't ones that I was fully entrenched in. And in Best Animated Film, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, one of the easiest picks of the year. I know Puss in Boots has had a bit of a resurgence, but this is still one that I think is a lock to win this category. Now let's go into film not in the English language, essentially international feature for the Oscars. I'm still thinking Argentina 1985 may have a small chance to be the biggest dark horse in that category's history, but right now it's almost a lock to be All Quiet on the Western Front. Here's one that does not impact the Oscars at all, but I absolutely love. Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, producer. Just giving After Sun any bit of love is amazing. Good Luck to You, Leo Grande is a good movie, but After Sun was on another level. It was in my top 10 of last year. I think it should have gotten more love at the Oscars, other than just one nominee, but, you know, what do I know? Okay, so Outstanding British Film. Banshees wins over After Sun. Okay, let's see some of these other movies here. You've got Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, and The Wonder, but that was pretty much a lock to win Best British Film, and it's a British film, so it's going to receive love in some of these other categories, and then you get to Best Film. And Banshees doesn't win, which, you know, as good as it's done in other categories, it is a British film, so I thought it would get that love. It did not win Best Film. Neither did Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that was just as big of a shock. And I know it didn't win in other places, but it just doesn't seem like it got the love in this awards show. And I think those are the two biggest contenders for the Oscars. So what wins? Yet again, All Quiet on the Western Front. You know, it wouldn't have shocked me at this point, seeing the love for Elvis. It wouldn't have shocked me if Elvis would have won. But All Quiet on the Western Front, which I don't know. I don't think it has a great shot to win Best Picture. I don't think so, because it didn't get a ton of above-the-line love in the Oscar categories. It got a lot of the technical ones, and it got writing and directing, and, well, no acting. But I still got writing and directing. I'm not saying the Best Picture discussion is going to include All Quiet on the Western Front. But I'm not saying that. Look, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It won Best Film. It won Best Film. It's not even a British film. And it won over Banshees, over the British film, over the movie that won for British film, over the movie that won for British film that is in the conversation win Best Picture at the Oscars. And the lack of any love for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And again, it may just be 1917 all over again, and it gets one of these and it gets one of those, but it doesn't win the big award. But All Quiet wasn't really even in that conversation for Best Picture. I would have put Elvis and Top Gun over All Quiet for the discussion for Best Picture, but I don't know if I can do that now. I'm still on the Everything Everywhere train because it's doing so well in other places and DGA, and you got PGA and all of those, right? If it continues to rack up everywhere but here, it's got a great chance. But I can't nail it down at this moment. I've got a lot to think about. Look at this. I'm treating it like homework. It shouldn't be homework. It should be fun. This is fun. So what say you? First of all, if you're here and you enjoyed this video and you want to drop a like, that would be awesome to support this channel. Be sure to leave your comments. But seriously, what's the biggest thing to take away from this year's BAFTA winners? Is it All Quiet on the Western Front actually being a contender this year for more awards than just those below-the-line awards? Or is it Banshees somewhat underperforming? Still won a few awards here. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Absolutely underperforming, not really getting anything done at the BAFTAs. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm working on my Oscar predictions. Expect a video sometime this week. If you don't have that notification bell turned on, be sure to do it so you know when I come out with that video. Thanks for watching. See you soon.